Okay, let's talk about your house for a second. When you picture it, what's the first thing that pops in your head? The kitchen? Maybe the cozy living room, right? But what about the one thing that's protecting all of it? Yeah, your roof. We kind of just think of it as, a bunch of shingles, something you only deal with when there's a leak. But it is so much more than that. It's actually a whole system, and it's your home's first and most critical line of defense. So today, we're going to completely rethink what a roof really is.
And here is why this is so important. So get this, the U.S. Department of Energy estimates that a staggering 9 out of 10 homes in North America have improper attic ventilation. No, that's not a typo, 90%. We're talking about a massive, hidden problem that could be wrecking the health of your entire home, and most of us, we have no idea it's even happening.
So, that really brings up the million-dollar question, doesn't it? Is your home one of them? Because that statistic, it's not just some random number. It represents a real problem that could be silently causing some serious damage right above your head, right now. Okay, so how do you figure it out? Well, we gotta know what to look for, and that's what we're doing in this first section. We're going to uncover those hidden dangers that start out all quiet and sneaky up in the attic. The good news? You don't have to be a pro to spot these warning signs. It really all starts with just taking a quick look. First, you're going to peek inside the attic. If you see that the intake vents are blocked, that means your attic can't breathe. It's trapping all this destructive heat and moisture. See any rust on the nails? That's a dead giveaway that condensation is forming. Your insulation, it should be all light and fluffy. If it looks flat and compacted, it's basically useless. And of course, the biggest red flags of all, mold, mildew, or blackened plywood. That's not just a sign of a problem, that means a serious moisture issue has already set up shop.
All right, so that's the inside. What about the outside? These signs are usually even easier to spot. If you see your shingles curling or cracking, your attic is probably overheating and literally cooking your roof from the inside out. See a bunch of sandy stuff in your gutters? Those are the granules from your shingles. It's like the roof's sunscreen just washing away. And then you've got things like algae streaks, rotting wood trim, or those awful ice dams in the winter. These are all distress signals that your entire roof system is failing. Okay, look, seeing any of that can be a little stressful. I get it. But you know what's way more costly? Ignoring it. And that brings us to the real price of failure. And I'm not just talking about the bill to fix a leak. I'm talking about protecting the long-term value of your entire home.
I mean, it sounds simple, but it's such a huge deal. For most of us, our home is the biggest investment we'll ever make. And that roof, that's the one and only shield that protects that entire investment 24/7. If it fails, everything under it is at risk.
And this is where this quote it hits the nail on the head. The most expensive way to do any project is to do it twice. That really shifts your thinking, right? It stops being about finding the cheapest fix for today. It becomes about making one smart decision now, so you don't have to go through this whole thing again in another 15 years.
Okay, so let's say a replacement is on the table. Now you've got a big choice to make. And this isn't just about picking a color. This is about choosing your home's shield. You're picking a whole philosophy of protection that's going to last for decades.
So it really boils down to this, a pretty clear trade-off. On one side, you've got your conventional fiberglass shingles. Yeah, the initial cost is lower, for sure. But you're looking at a lifespan of maybe 15, 25 years tops. And they're vulnerable to all the stuff we just talked about. Wind, hail, heat. But on the other side, you have stone-coated steel. The initial investment is higher, no doubt. But look at the trade-off. A lifespan of 50-plus years, major resistance to wind and hail. And it's just not going to crack or curl or rot.
So you're probably wondering, how can one roof last so much longer? Well, it's not magic, it's just really smart engineering. A stone-coated steel roof isn't just a sheet of metal. It's a whole system made of multiple layers. It starts with a core steel panel, which gets stamped into whatever style you want. Shingle, shake, you name it. Then, it gets a zinc alloy coating to make sure it never rusts. After that, an acrylic primer to make everything stick. Then a tough base coat that bonds the stone granules and blocks UV light. Then, the stone granules themselves for protection and that traditional look. And finally, a tough acrylic glaze over the top to seal it all in. Every single layer has a crucial job to do.
Yeah, the specs are impressive, for sure. But what does that actually mean when things get real? When a big storm hits? Let's move from the science to the proof. Because this is where the engineering meets reality.
I mean, just listen to this. Take a second and let this one sink in. This isn't just a nice review. This is a real quote from a real homeowner after a tornado ripped right through their town. It's one of the most powerful things you could ever hear about a product.
And here's the crazy part, the story behind that quote. After the tornado passed, that homeowner came outside to find that their house was the only one with its roof still on, for miles around. It is just a stark, unbelievable, real-world picture of what that kind of durability actually means. And look, it's not just about surviving these, once-in-a-lifetime disasters. It's about peace of mind every single day. This other quote from a homeowner in a place with really high winds, it just captures that feeling perfectly. That confidence that no matter what the storm throws at you, your shield is going to hold. You can't really put a price tag on that feeling.
All right, this brings us to the big one, the money, the financial logic. Because while that peace of mind is priceless, a new roof is a major financial decision. So let's look at this not as just a purchase, but as an investment that actually pays you back over time.
So, here's the key idea. We have to get clear on two words, price and lifetime cost. And they are not the same thing. Price is just that initial number on the bill. It's what you pay today. But lifetime cost? That's the total amount you'll spend over the entire life of the product. We're talking maintenance, repairs, and the big one, replacements. If you only look at the price, you're missing the real story.
And this right here, this shows you exactly what I mean. Let's play it out over, say, 50 years. If you go with a conventional fiberglass roof, you're going to be replacing it 2, maybe even 3 times in that period. And every single time, you're paying for materials, you're paying for labor, and those costs are probably going up. Now look at the one-time metal roof. Your cost is fixed. Yes, you pay more up front, but over the long haul, the total lifetime cost ends up being way, way lower. So we kind of end up right back where we started, but with a totally new way of looking at things. The choice you have to make isn't really just about shingles. It's about your entire approach to protecting your home. And it all comes down to this one last question you have to ask yourself. Is your roof just a temporary cover, something that's designed to be replaced over and over again? Or is it a permanent shield, an investment built to protect your home and your family for a lifetime?